I'm Ken Laird. Trib Radio continues. We welcome now, and we're every week taking a look at the legal side of the sports world, joined by Pittsburgh attorney Frank Walker, frankwalkerlaw.com, providing real talk, real experience, and real results. Frank, welcome back to the show. How are you, sir?
Good. How about yourself, Ken?
Not too bad. Tell folks about what you do for folks that are hearing you for the first time.
Well, I am pretty much a full-service law firm. I handle criminal defense and medical malpractice, personal injury claims. I've been practicing law for about 6 years now, and I've had the experience of being in a jury room, handling cases, taking juries to verdicts, and getting good results for my clients.
And we got sports angles to discuss with you every week. There's always something coming up. This week, baseball, I don't know if you followed this story with Bud Selig and the LA Dodgers much, Frank. The owners, the McCourts, Frank and his wife, have split up. And there's been obviously some financial issues going along with this. McCourt hoped that Selig would sign off on a transaction, a TV deal with Fox Sports that was reportedly worth up to $3 million. That would have provided them with a bunch of money up front and was key to a settlement agreement between he and his ex-wife and the former CEO. But now he's going to be missing payroll without this kind of funds. Selig wouldn't approve the deal. What's going on here?
Yeah, it's just a mess. It's just a mess, and it sounds like, from what I'm hearing, and some of my sources are telling me, it sounds like that he's trying his best to try to stick it to his wife and make sure that she gets a raw deal. And this is just another way of doing that, and it's actually messing up a lot of people on the payroll. Like you said, missing payroll. It's just a mess. It's just a mess.
I mean, was this going to drag out, and does Selig have every right to not approve this deal?
Well, it will drag out, but I think you want to have all your ducks in a row and make sure that when the deal comes through, everyone's making a good faith effort to make sure their constituents are taken care of, make sure they're revealing all files, all documents, all financials, and make sure everything is on the up and up. But until that happens, by all means, I mean, why would anyone enter into the deal you're not knowing what the other side's doing?
Yeah, and in the meantime, all the McCourts. Their divorce, I mean, I guess the lavish spending habits are all detailed in court documents. They took out $100 million in loans from LA Dodgers-related businesses. That's the thing. When you get into these court documents made public, a lot of stuff comes out that people don't want to be made known to the public. Isn't that right?
Oh yeah. I mean, you have the Freedom of Information Act, and people just they file that, and all of a sudden these documents come public because they're thinking, oh, well, I can just do this, and I can file this, and maybe hide this document. No one will ever know, and my secret's safe. But everything they always say, what's done in the dark comes to the light, and it's always true in these court documents.
Roger Clemens would like to keep in the dark as well. That big case is coming up. Prosecutors have accused him of lying, of course, about using performance-enhancing drugs. I guess the latest in this trial is coming up next month. This will be a criminal trial. He's trying to limit the testimony of his former teammates about his drug use, and the government trying to block revelations about investigations for sexual assault about his chief accuser. So things are trying to be blocked on both sides. Will both sides be successful in keeping this stuff out of the main issue?
Well, it all depends. It all depends on what's relevant. Is it relevant for those past charges to come in? Is it relevant for these people to testify? I mean, they don't want people to take their eye off the ball, essentially, for lack of a better phrase. I mean, they want people to focus on the statements, focus on whether or not he lied under oath, whether or not he gave false statements. Focusing on other things, if it's not relevant, they kick it out. I mean, but to keep things out ahead of time, it's an effort to clean it up so when you go to court, everyone knows exactly where you stand on different issues and all that's been decided. So you can streamline the process, go in, focus on the issues, and proceed and try to get an adjudication on the merits.
Like Clemens is saying, his former Yankee teammates, Chuck Knobloch, Mike Stanton, and a couple of others are on a list of potential witnesses the prosecutors provided. And basically, they're all expected to testify they got drugs from Brian McNamee. Is that relevant to the case where the prosecution is trying to claim Clemens also got drugs from Brian McNamee?
Well, it all depends on how they say that. Can they pin Clemens to getting drugs from Acme. I mean, that's what it boils down to. I mean, they can talk about all other things. Yeah, they got him from Acme. Yeah, he used them. They used them over and over and over again. But did they see Clemens? Were they there when he allegedly received them from him? I mean, that's what it boils down to.
We're talking with criminal defense attorney, Pittsburgh attorney Frank Walker, our sports legal segment. Check out Frank's work at frankwalkerlaw.com, and he's there for you. And one other story this week that jumped out at me. The University of Oregon has released documents related to its use of recruiting services that suggest the school paid for information that was outdated. These documents are a 2010 National High School Evaluation booklet, which has prep athletes that graduated in 2009. They were a part of that year's recruiting class. It was supposedly for athletes that were coming to college in 2011. And they paid a certain amount of money into it. Oregon says it did nothing wrong, but basically these are all investigations about recruiting services and things that are paid. This whole seedy area of colleges and high school amateur players and payments, it's a pretty fine line there, isn't it?
It's a very fine line because you have them now. They're just getting younger and younger, and they're starting to prep them at a younger age. I mean, I'm showing my age here. Back in the 90s, I'm coming up through high school. You didn't see, Major League Football on ESPN. I mean, now you see like the bitty ball, and they're playing. I mean, it's good to see. It's great to see these kids getting the exposure, but it's just you have to wonder what does it do to their mindset. I mean, in these camps and the recruiting, and they're getting nationally ranked at 11 years old. I don't know how that helps someone. I mean, I would rather see him ranked as a student athlete as opposed to just an athlete. But I don't know how it works with their mindset going to school, knowing that they're number 2 in the nation according to this one, or the number 4 in the nation according to the rivals or prep sports. It's a mess, and it needs to be cleaned up. I think the NCAA needs to step in, or someone needs to step in. Whoever's the governing agency needs to step in and figure out how to best regulate that area of sports.
Yeah, and when there's rankings involved, obviously the cash is going to follow, and you got guys that are being paid to go out and scout, basically, and that money, I'm sure, will trickle down to the players. So it's a mess. Hey, Frank, what's coming up for you this week? You have a busy caseload?
Busy caseload, bunch of trials. I'm trying to settle some cases and getting a lot of calls. So I mean, it's the word is getting out there that I'm on the market and getting out there fighting a good fight for the people who are seemingly at the bottom rung of the constitutional ladder. But I'm getting out there and hoping to get some cases resolved and maybe take some time on the weekend. If not, maybe I'll be right back in the office trying to work and get some things done.
All right, keep up the good work. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week with Sports Legal.
Appreciate it, Ken. Take care.
That's Pittsburgh attorney Frank Walker, frankwalkerlaw.com, weighing in on our sports legal issues. Real talk, real experience, real results, his motto. Check him out.